Right, you click here on the little button down there, this is your data frame. And you open up a new Arcmap, this is the old document. You gotta open up a new one. Alright. I'm going to sit my usual suspects next week in one row next to each other. So I walk. And again, no embarrassment. If you have problems, I'd rather during the class time everyone else plays. We can explore other things, but this is important for everyone's learning curve. Yeah? What's the problem?
It's so easy to mess it up with those.
Yeah, it is.
I get nervous to do it
The wrong thing. We came in here last night and we tried to figure it out, and I got so frustrated. I was just wait tomorrow to see how he does it, because we were trying to do the assignment and I was just like, I want to start the whole thing and then we mess up. I mean, now that he's explaining it.
But you can learn. Huh? All right. Want to copy more? Maria said, oh yeah. Right. So what did we do before? We put a world map together. Yeah? So what can we do with our world map or streets? We can copy and paste them. Yeah? So we did drag and drop from catalog into Arcmap. Let's do a copy and paste from Arcmap to Arcmap. Let's organize our screen for demonstration purposes. On the left side, I'm going to have my mapping project. Yeah? On the right side, I'm going to have my streets map open. Or the base map I already saved before. Yeah? You don't have to save it if you didn't save it before, it's fine here too. So what we're going to do is, you can see that this says base map, world street map. Here. Yeah? Well, we know that this is our data frame layers, streets, and this is a layer, and this is a layer, or somewhat represents a layer. So what we're going to do is simply go in here, gently click to highlight with left click, right click on this guy. Just when we right click in ArcGIS desktop or catalog or map, we always get certain menu pop-ups functions. So what we can do now is copy. Then we move over to our project here. We click up here on the top on the layers. Again, top down. And right click on it and say paste layers.
Yeah.
In the street maps here, right click and copy. And then in your project map, right click on the top and say paste. So everything works fine. And I keep saying everything if everything works fine, because I practiced this on my machine and I come in here. So the globe is still running. Can you see that? Globe is still rotating. So it loads data. Give it a moment. It has to load Florida now. Everything's there.
Yeah.
Give it a moment.
No.
Because I know I'm going to go home and I'm going to rewatch the video.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm just going to stay there because I don't have flashlight.
So, if this rotation takes too much time, there's a hint. If you click, right click, remember right click opens new doors. Right click on your census blocks. There's the function called zoom to layer. Layer. Yeah? Zoom to layer. If you do that for the census blocks, it zooms in wherever they are. So even if your mapping was somewhere in Australia and you want to zoom into the census blocks in Florida, whoosh, it does it automatically for you. So you don't have to manually search around and zoom in and zoom out and you're somewhere watching sharks. Yeah?
So when you zoom to layer, what does it do?
It isolates.
Alright, look, I'm somewhere here that I don't even care where this is right now. I right click and say zoom to layer and it pops up straight for my census blocks.
How does it know what layer? In this case, it's just one layer.
Because the data is georeferenced. Everything has its coordinates, its x, y's, lat longs. So they know each other where they belong in the world.
No, I got that.
Because you
I
highlighted
noticed
census
that.
blocks.
What I'm saying is, if, let's say you have two layers. Let's say that you have this city and you have Miami. Say, how does it know that you want to zoom to Miami or instead of Broward?
Alright, that's a trick question, is it? Chapter number 1, 2 tells you a function called bookmarks. Let's do bookmarks. There are bookmarks. I can create a bookmark. Helps with coordination of your data. I call that, let's say, BC for Broward County. Yeah, hit escape, hit enter. I save the current screen, current perspective, zoom in, zoom out as BC. Alright, let's zoom out. This might take a moment because it's slow via internet. And yeah, we don't need to do Washington DC, but let's say I zoom into Tampa. I don't have data in Tampa, but demonstrating the bookmarks, this is important. Bookmark, create a bookmark, and call Tampa. This is something you can also consider for presentation stuff. Actually, online version has that. Creating bookmarks to almost like PowerPoint slides. Huh? So if I want to go back to my BC, I just click bookmark, BC, and it jumps over. So no dragging and dropping of all of that and searching like you do in Google Earth, Google Maps, and move things around. Bookmark it, and it's perfectly aligned. But the bookmark is inside the map document, not in your data.
Okay.
It's the view on top of the data. It's not your data. Huh? Basically, like in your internet browser, you bookmark this page. This is New York Times, and this is Huffington Post. Ding ding, and it jumps to it. It's not the data you read or the information you read on the screen. It's just a destination. Huh? All right. What else? So, if you look at this, there are a few things we can do. For performance purposes, first of all, I'm put up full screen so you see this better. For performance purposes right now, I'm going to deactivate the background map. Huh? Because the process of loading it was demonstrated. Because if I want to move around all the time, it keeps loading it. So how to deactivate that? I just uncheck it. It's still in your project, you just don't see it. What you don't see, you don't have to reload. So my zoom in and zoom out is super fast right now. See that? Boom, because I'm only dealing with the county. If I put up the base map again, see that? It has to load for a few more times, it has to load all the additional information. That is time consuming.
The number that shows when you zoom in and out, that's the zooming time?
That's the scale.
That's the scale of the zoom, all right, thanks.
The scale of when I zoom in and out, the pop-up here, is also what you can select manually here in the scale bar. So when I said 1 to 25 or 24,000, if you do that, you zoom in immediately. Yeah? But it will take time to load the data again. So therefore I do this and zoom to layer. Super easy. Gotta find those functions first. Yeah? Few years experience, you just got exposed 5 minutes ago. So zoom to layer and bookmarks is very helpful to navigate in your project. All right. What we want to do is now, I want to change this color setting a little bit. We did this last week. So in two different ways. I could double click on this guy, or I right click on the layer and go to layer properties. Takes a moment. And it shows me all these different tabs. We are dealing with symbology. Therefore, we go to the layer called, or tab called Symbology. Right now, it shows the single type, single symbol. To show you that again on the screen as a repeat. Remember the PowerPoint slides today, this morning, had different symbols on it, graduated symbol and colors. Well, if you go through all these, you can see pie charts that start on top. Single symbol, everything looks the same. Categories, different setups here. You can have different setups here, and this pictogram helps to understand what type of mapping you will expect. Quantities, that's what we're going to use most often. You can see here, this is a monochromatic color ramp. I have dichromatic, let's say this is green-blue. See that? I have graduated symbols. Those are like for our circles for population cities. We have seen mapping results. We haven't done that yet. We can do proportional symbols because we relate them to certain values in our data. And then you have the dot density. We discussed this with the example of California. Yeah? Start simple. I want to get rid of the purple, and I want to use what we call a hollow predefined. So I double click on here, and I get all these selections here. Huh? Shading. See, this is the biohazard overlay, radiation overlay. I don't have to make this up. I can just click on this, and it's predefined. Huh? But I also can go with very simple. If I only want to show the boundaries, where that parcel or the block group ends, I can use the hollow.
How'd you get that again?
Double click. Single symbol.
Oh, single.
Symbology tab
There you go.
features single symbol. Double click on Symbology. And I take hollow. And you realize on the right side it's selected as a color, as fill, nothing. Or you could select any of those colors, or you mix more colors. Yeah? But nothing is displayed like this. The outline right now is 0.4 width. Don't really know the units of that, but 0.4. And in black, if this is too much contrast, I could choose a lower mix or value of the gray. Let's say 50%. If I hit OK and apply, hit apply, not OK, apply, it goes into hollow. To check if it's really hollow, I reactivate and hit OK. I reactivate my base map, and right now, base map loads, and everything is a see-through. Technically, it's a color, hollow. Okay? If I don't like this weird name called Census Blocks 2010, what would you do?
Change the name.
Rename it. Huh? How would we rename it? Well, the magic button is the right click. So we can right click on it and go to Properties. And in the Channel tab in the beginning, I have a name. And I just call it Blocks right now. Yeah. I also can go in, gently click to highlight, gently click a second time and rename straight in ahead. So the channel tab works and the gentle click. Now, sometimes you have to use the sledgehammer for the data. But
Can you repeat that part of us? Once you get the once you get that layer, how do we save it?
we have.
What do you do then?
What do you want to do? You change the properties.
Yeah, after you change the properties, how do you name the new layer?
Here, layer name in the channel tab, or I click on it once, click gently a second time, and it will change it into an active field. Now I can call it blocks. Blocks or Danilo. Yeah?
Okay.
Blocks. Typo. You get the message. So there are two ways to do this. for me, I'm old school, I try to do this through the property menu. Because you rename it and you change symbology, so you're within the same menu already. Yeah? Alright, traditionally, right click on it, properties. Takes a moment, I don't know why these machines are so slow. And then you can change it, now I actually call it blocks. Yeah? And I could immediately change the symbology. Right now, let's change the symbology into a monochromatic setup. Because we know that we have the amount of lands as a field of interest. So I go here to quantities, click on graduated colors, symbology, quantities, graduated colors. Yeah? Find the value field called amount of land. Yep, we hit OK. Remember, we have 22,000 data points. It looks at 22,000 data points to try to sample this. We will talk about this next week. And it come up with some arbitrary cuts. That's good enough right now. It changed actually here to natural breaks. Remember, there are different categories we can map.
Are you going to repeat this step next week?
Yes, I gotta do repeat now and for another color setting as well. Again, all this is flying a little bit faster over chapter 2. This is all in chapter 2. Yes, please.
Is this how you get the numbers? Usually, like when you, like the other data and how the numbers come out, is this how they get them? Because they upload the data and then they come in here. And
Yeah, but this is the mapping of the data right now. So, okay, I click OK. If I click OK and I get rid of the base map for performance, if I click OK, the map shows me right now the amount of land. Yeah? And you would think big chunk of land has larger amount of land. So nothing wrong with this. So, but the important part is I used a monochromatic color scheme to map this. The larger the data, the darker the color right now. Okay? Does this make sense?
Yes.
For the application of monochromatic color schema, yes.
And these are acres?
I have no idea about the units. This is one of the things, if you don't create the data, you heavily rely on a data manuscript or like a code book. You actually need to double check what is the measurement. This could be square miles, could be square feet. Now if you look at the size of the numbers, it could be square feet.
What, am I supposed to yell at you because it's quarter to 12?
Yeah, I know. I gotta expose you to a few more things. No? Alright, let's take another look. If this is the best data actually we can use.
What would you say, the larger the data, the larger the size
Darker
of
the color.
Yeah, darker the
Water goes to. Alright, let's flip the value field. Because we all have multiple fields. So if I want to flip or change the value field, I'm going to right click on this guy, do properties. And here the value field now of interest is the amount of water listed in our data. Please note that the numbers have changed, not the categories, but the numbers. And right now we still use natural breaks, which is arbitrary, explorative, has no system behind it. It just randomly cuts somewhat randomly how it feels. I hit OK. Now you can see that apparently we have shoreline census blocks that are 100% water, technically, or the amount of water measured is actually the area here. Yeah? Doesn't not really make sense to do, because I would think there's zero population on this one. Yeah? But it's in the system for completion purposes. So you see now that change the field, but we didn't change the color settings. So let's change the color settings. Again, you can also double click on this guy or right click properties. Double click It's faster. And choose a different color ramp. I use this one, the light green here, again as a monochromatic color ramp. Alright? Monochromatic, one color, different value, 0 to 1. Same story here, more amount of water available in the area, the darker the picture. Yeah?
Should we use blue or?
Blue would be okay too. Yeah, exactly. So now let's do this data with a dichromatic setup. And it's super easy because you double click on it, you jump into the Symbology tab, and dichromatic color schema, keep everything the same, but find something that runs from one color into the other one. Yeah? We could use simply something that pops in our mind, green to red. Not the best example, but it will work. It mixes in between. Yeah? And hit OK. So Jarvis, this is the application of a dichromatic color schema for increasing data. Doesn't really make sense. However, you just learned how to apply a dichromatic color schema on your data set for a specific value. Yeah? All right. 5 groups are a little bit too less for that. Let's do and change the classes, those breakpoints. Okay? How would I do that? Well, I go back to properties, Symbology. I can right click on it and do the properties or double click. Here is the classification stuff. I could choose 10 groups. You're not giving me more. Why don't you give me more? Come on. Here, 10. You can see now it created different, more additional classes. And if I move this over a little bit, hit apply. So it smooths it out a little bit. And you can see here in the agenda on the left side in the table of content, I have more than just 5. Alright? Super easy. Change the amount of classes or intervals. Boom. One mouse click. Catch is you need to know where to find it.
Wait, didn't work.
Didn't work?
Go to classes, change 5 to 10, right?
To check the little
Yeah.
box there.
Oh, show classes.
Alright. If I want to use meaningful interval cuts or breaking points, I gotta control this a little bit more. So there I go into classify. Like one more step into the rabbit hole. Yeah? Now you can see your data, how it looks like in statistics. It tells you a few more things here on the side. Yeah? Those are the current break values. And these are all the different ways to cut and slice your data. Remember this morning I had equal intervals or defined intervals as an example on the slides. Textbook shows you that on the examples with tutorial data. Let's take a look at the defined, I think it was, yeah, defined interval. You can see defined is like, okay, I have one sandwich, I need 10 pieces of the sandwich to feed the crowd. So it will cut. Yeah? I also can say how large those pieces should be. In this case, it's helpful to understand what is my minimum, my maximum. So there's a huge numbers here. Yeah? And I just put a bunch of zeros right now. Let's start with 1 million. If I would click, if I move this out or click OK,
How many zeros?
I get all these slices and dice. Can you see this? So 1 million doesn't really work. I got 76 classes right now. Hallelujah, this is like a black and white picture. So maybe I add another 0, or I say instead of 1 million, I take 5 million. 16, a little bit better. Yeah? So the problem is with defined classes or defined intervals, they need to be meaningful. 3.75 million doesn't make sense. 1 million, too many classes. 5 million right now gives me 16. If I hit apply, my distribution doesn't support that. Yeah? Because I have a lot of small ones and just super big ones. So based on the data you're mapping, on the amount of water is a really bad example because you have 0, 0, 0, 0, and a lot. Yeah? Based on the amount, type of data, nature of the data, you can use this in a different way. All right, one more thing. Talk about it a lot, didn't show it yet, where's it? Next week we're not skipping all the theories. If I go here to my layout view,
Sorry, Tom. Right around there in the middle, my data points are broken between 3.5 million and 4 million. As opposed to yours. Yours is pretty.
I don't know, that's exposed another time.
All right.
Gotta get these 3 minutes into the year. All right, so down here,
That happened to me too.
down here, I have this button called Layout View. If I click this, I get this page lookalike. The highlighted dotted area is what we call your layout frame, or actually data frame. The highlighted area here is what you have here. Yeah? Everything that is right now in layers shows up here. If I want to add map elements, those are scale bar, north arrow, and legend. I will do this like that. Insert, north arrow. Pick one, click OK. And I can move this one around, I make it really big so you can see that I have one. And right now I put it inside the data frame. Yeah? For cosmetic purposes later.
You need to back up one. Can you do that again?
Alright, delete.
How do I go back to the page?
Alright. This is what we have done so far.
Yeah.
I go back here to layout view.
Layout, yeah.
Pops up like this. I go to insert and I see here all my map elements. North arrow, pick one, click OK, put it in big. Right now I don't care about the properties and all the fun stuff I can do with this guy. Scale. Look, my scale is right now something like 640,000. Well, it doesn't matter. I do insert, scale bar. I pick one that I like, hit OK, and I can drag and drop this, make it big and smaller. Yeah? And the way you can see this, if I realign this and drag it, it will change the amount. Yeah? It also will change the amount if I change the scale to very weird stuff close by, or to a proper setting redefined outside. Do you see that? And I can insert a legend, which is pretty much right now, in our case of knowledge, we just click next, 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 and we have our legend. As ugly as it can be. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Final step. Jesus, 1 minute. I save this inside my AX folder. Inside my AX folder. Double click on the AX folder and call it test. And hit save.
So save as. first, right?
Yeah, it was untitled, so save as works fine. Yeah? As ugly this is right now, it works. So I can do two more things. I can export the map. Remember we did this last time as a picture? This time I can say export into the AX folder, double click the AX folder as a PDF. Yeah. And here, clip output to graphic elements is important if I only want to show certain elements. Yeah. And could hit save and it does that. Again, this is a step in chapter 2. This is just a different data context.
Did you click on clip output?
Yeah. And then PDF. So we created a PDF right now in our project folder. Exciting. First PDF we created. Here, PDF. Yeah. And the most important part, at the end of everything else, we close all ArcGIS stuff. Everything close. Save and close.
Professor, before I close, how do I? I'm on the on that view that we brought it over. Mine has the map in the background. Just release it. Just take it out, right? Oh,
That's
there
fine.
you go. Got it. Found it.
That's fine.
Never mind.
Yeah. We close that. Everything that is ArcGIS related, Arcmap, Arccatalog, we close everything. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah? Close everything. To your test MXD, yeah. We close everything and make sure that you save the stuff in the right place with the right names. So right now I have in my AX folder all the data we don't touch. I also have my test map and I have my test PDF. And then on these machines here and at home, I right click on it. At home I say send to compressed zip folder. Now, right click on your folder, use the function send to compressed folder to zip it. Takes a moment. And it will create a file that's called AX, test number, zip archive. This is the file you will have to submit for your assignment. I want to see everything you have done. And what we do is we actually submit this via Blackboard on the assignment form. So if you're in Blackboard, I demonstrate that. Do not do this right now, otherwise I need to open up your attempt. If I do assignment here, if I click on it, I have a submission button here. Browse my computer, click on this, go to my downloads or work folder, I will find the zip archive or zip file, that's it. Hit open, see this is attached now, and then up there I hit submit. If I do that, now I should get me an error message, but it will upload a little bit and then it will save. I'm the instructor, I'm not allowed to submit anything. Yeah? Here, attach a file, browse my computer, and then you attach your zipped folder. You cannot attach the whole folder. You need to compress it into a zip. Alright. Because we didn't do one or two of the steps, I will make a quick video demonstration for major elements on the assignment. In theory, we ran through the whole assignment today on different data. Pace was a little bit too fast, so the video is posted, will be posted, and tomorrow evening, if not on Monday afternoon, I give for the key functions like a quick how-to video, like here's the thing how you change Symbology. Yeah? Not giving you a master solution, but I give you the process. Yeah? If you have not done that yet, open up the assignment PDF and read it. You will realize It is step by step like we do the class. Like in this program, in Arcmap, open up this. In our catalog, open up this, make this, do this step. And I try to write my assignments with the same language I use in class. So monochromatic and dichromatic and defined interval should be now something that rings your bell. The challenge is to find that button you need to click. All right. For those in the site planning class, we will start at 12:40. That gives you 35 minutes break. 12:40 sharp we start. For those who have questions about GIS, 6 p.m. Tuesday evening is office hours. I will help. I will not do your work. You need to come with questions. Don't, hey, can you show me how to do this? No. I struggle with this. Please help me, and I will show you a generic example. I will not give you a master solution in the office hours. But I'm here 6 till 8, so you can make it from Miami on time, so I donate my evening. It starts at 4, but I'm doing office hours at 6. Yeah. You can submit tonight if you want to, but do.
Be careful with that. Is that yours? No, that's the camera, right? Yeah. The white cord?
Know how to start. And the body count was everyone's here. Yeah.
And just close it? Yeah. So this one? That's it.
I'll text you.
Yeah.
You want a price, you didn't show. Yeah. Okay, don't forget to log out.
Save changes?
Are you making copies now, or you want to wait? What do you want to do? You want me to bring you copies?
Yeah, let's go right now.